As highlighted by the following collection of quotes from evolutionists, which I'm about to read, the scientific community is not nearly as unified and dogmatically supportive of evolutionary theory as the media and some atheists would like us to believe. The admission of doubt and failure by some of the most prominent former and current evolutionists is powerful condemning evidence against the theory. If evolutionists admit the failure of their own theory, then why should we believe it? Concerning origination of the universe, Tom Van Flandern said, "Despite the widespread acceptance of the Big Bang Theory as a working model for interpreting new findings, not a single important prediction of the theory has yet been confirmed, and substantial evidence has accumulated against it." Margaret Burbidge admitted, "The evidence is accumulating that redshift, a major component of the evolutionary origin of the universe, is a shaky measuring rod." Concerning dark matter and dark energy, the matter and energy that evolutionists believe must exist if the Big Bang actually occurred, David B. Klein explained that evolutionists know little about that sea. The terms we use to describe its components, dark matter and dark energy, serve mainly as expressions of our ignorance. According to Scott Tremaine, most every prediction by theorists about planetary formation has been wrong. Jeffrey N. Kuzi has observed, non-stop erosion poses a difficult problem for the very existence of Saturn's opaque rings. The expected bombardment rate would pulverize the entire system in only 10,000 years. Robert Matthews reported, "Even the most enthusiastic cosmologists will admit that current theories of the nature of the universe have some big holes." According to Roger A. Windhorst, "Nobody really understands how star formation proceeds. It's really remarkable." George Abel admitted, "There is much doubt, however, that galaxies evolve from one type to another at all." Michael Rowan said, "We cannot even show convincingly how galaxies, stars, planets, and life arose in the present universe." G. Burbidge agreed that, "Indeed, Big Bang cosmology has become a bandwagon of thought that reflects faith as much as objective truth." As Bob Berman admitted, "Nobody has the foggiest idea what happened the Tuesday before the Big Bang. In truth, we have no clue." According to John Guest, no one knows where the material that formed the universe came from. And former evolutionist Dr. Frank Tipler testified, "When I began my career as a cosmologist some 20 years ago, I was a convinced atheist. I never in my wildest dreams imagined that one day I would be writing a book purporting to show that the central claims of Judeo-Christianity are in fact true, that these claims are straightforward deductions of the laws of physics as we now understand them. I have been forced into these conclusions by the inexorable logic of my own special branch of physics." Related to the rise of early life, John Guest said, "Little is known about what happened during the first 85% of Earth's history." Harvard University biology professor George Wald admitted, "One has only to contemplate the magnitude of this task to concede that the spontaneous generation of a living organism is impossible." Famous fossil hunter Mary Leakey stated 3 months before her death that, "All of these trees of life with their branches of our ancestors, that's a lot of nonsense." The discoverer of Down syndrome's cause, Dr. Jerome L. Lejeune, said, "It is futile to pretend to the public that we understand how an amoeba evolved into a man when we cannot tell our students how a human egg produces a skin cell or a brain cell." Klaus Doss has observed, "More than 30 years of experimentation on the origin of life in the fields of chemical and molecular evolution have led to a better perception of the immensity of the problem of the origin of life on Earth rather than to its solution. At present, all discussions on principal theories and experiments in the field either end in a stalemate or in a confession of ignorance." The next 5 quotes are from Michael Behe, author of the groundbreaking book Darwin's Black Box. He said, "Molecular evolution is not based on scientific authority. Since there is no authority on which to base claims of knowledge, it can be truly said the assertion of Darwinian molecular evolution is merely bluster." Further, he stated, "If a theory claims to be able to explain some phenomenon, but does not generate even an attempt at an explanation, then it should be banished. In effect, the theory of Darwinian molecular evolution has not published evidence, and so it should perish." He also reported, "In the face of the enormous complexity that modern biochemistry has uncovered in the cell, the scientific community is paralyzed." As he has personally observed, the simplicity that was once expected to be the foundation of life has proven to be a phantom. Instead, systems of horrendous, irreducible complexity inhabit the cell. Finally, he concluded, "The result of these cumulative efforts to investigate the cell To investigate life at the molecular level is a loud, clear, piercing cry of design. The result is so unambiguous and so significant that it must be ranked as one of the greatest achievements in the history of science. Charles Darwin lamented that the first appearance of new beings is a mystery of mysteries. J. Cohen reported, a recent conference on the origin of homosexuality and life made it clear that the origin of this handedness, chirality, is a complete mystery to evolutionists. A. G. Carnes Smith said, the real trouble in explaining evolution of the first cell in a primordial soup arises because too much of the complexity seems to be necessary to the whole way in which organisms work. Professor Ilya Prigogine, a brilliant chemist and physicist who has won 2 Nobel Prizes in chemistry, admitted, the statistical probability that organic structures and the most precisely harmonized reactions that typify living organisms would be generated by accident is 0. Richard Dawkins, one of the world's leading evolutionists, stated, we have seen that living things are too improbable and too beautifully designed to have come into existence by chance. According to Hubert Yockey, the origin of life by chance in primordial soup is impossible. A practical person must conclude that life didn't happen by chance. And Michael Rose stated, the tree of life is being politely buried. We all know that.